Our family had been searching for the perfect home for years, and just last month, we finally found it. A charming single-story house on the outskirts of a small town called Cedar Hollow. The house was everything we ever wanted. A big backyard, a spacious porch, and surrounded by a dense patch of woods. We imagined raising our kids here, getting a dog, and making this place truly ours. The first few days were blissful. We spent our time unpacking, exploring the house, and settling into our new routine. But on the third night, something strange happened. It was around 2 a.m. when I woke up to a soft sound echoing from outside. At first, I thought I was dreaming, but then my spouse stirred next to me. "Do you hear that?" they whispered. I strained my ears. It was faint but unmistakable. Music. A slow, distorted waltz playing from somewhere beyond our backyard. It wasn't a modern song. It sounded like it came from an old gramophone, crackly and distant, like something out of another time. We exchanged uneasy glances. The nearest house was at least a mile away. There was no way it could be coming from a neighbor's party or someone's car. Curiosity got the better of me. I slipped out of bed, grabbed my phone for a flashlight, and made my way downstairs. The backyard was eerily still. I flicked on the porch light, but it only illuminated a few feet into the darkness beyond. The music seemed louder now, closer. My heart pounded as I stepped onto the grass. I followed the sound to the edge of the woods, where something caught my eye, a dim, flickering light deeper in the trees. "Don't!" My spouse's voice startled me. I turned to see them standing in the doorway, their face full of concern. "I just want to see what it is," I reassured them, though I wasn't sure I even believed myself. I took a few hesitant steps into the trees, my flashlight beam cutting through the darkness. The music was clearer now. It was coming from an old radio, one of those antique ones with wooden casing and golden dials. It sat on a moss-covered stump, playing its eerie tune. I bent down and hesitated before reaching out. Then, suddenly, the music cut off. Dead silence. The air around me felt thick, oppressive. A chill ran down my spine. I could feel something, watching me. I slowly turned my flashlight around, scanning the trees. That's when I saw them. 3 figures, standing motionless among the trees. They were barely visible in the dim light, their bodies shrouded in tattered, old-fashioned clothing. Their faces were shadowed, obscured by the darkness. My breath caught in my throat. I stumbled back, my flashlight shaking in my grip. The figures didn't move. They just stood there, staring. Then, in perfect unison, they took one step forward. That was all I needed. I turned and bolted back toward the house. My legs felt like lead, but adrenaline pushed me forward. My spouse was already holding the door open, calling out to me. I burst inside, slamming it shut and locking it. For a moment, we stood there in silence, listening. Nothing. The backyard was as quiet as ever, as if nothing had happened. The next morning, I went outside to check. The radio was gone. No footprints. No sign that anyone had been there at all. That night, the music returned, and the night after that. Each time, it grew louder. Each time, the figures came closer. We called the police, but they found nothing. "Just some local kids messing with you," they said. "Probably a prank." 1 week after moving in, we put the house back on the market. We never stayed long enough to find out what would happen if they reached the house. And to this day, every time I hear old waltz music, my blood runs cold, because I know they're still out there, waiting for the next family to arrive.